You are looking at the face of someone that in about a year and a half after this video is done is going to have about 2,000 subscribers on his channel, and he's going to be doing a much more professional video outside of Energizer Park. Here I am. Hi. It's Soccer Zombie Tom Franklin here, and I wanted to just say a big thank you to everyone that has subscribed to the Soccer Zombie YouTube channel so far. Over 2,000 subscribers. You actually crossed this threshold a couple weeks ago. I'm just now getting around to doing this video because I wanted to be here outside of where it all began for me. This is Energizer Park, the home of St. Louis City SC. And I was waiting for the weather to be nice enough to do it because it's been kind of crappy here lately. It's early spring, and that's kind of typical for St. Louis, but now we got a nice rare day where it's in the mid-60s, it's sunny, the sun's shining down, not a cloud in the sky, and what a bright and positive way to thank all my subscribers for this channel for being with me on this journey so far. And it's been a very interesting journey because it really started again, right here with the club that plays inside of this stadium. I came up with the idea for a chant for our all-world goalkeeper, Roman Bürki, sung to the tune of the Cranberries, Zombie. And I became somewhat known for being the person that came up with that chant, and it helped kind of break the ice a little bit as someone that is a little bit introverted and not the best in big groups, and that's something that I don't really have a problem with admitting because it's something that I own. You know, there are people that are just total wallflowers and can just go up and approach people and you know, have a Rolodex of friends going on, and I'm just not that guy. I like the close relationships that I have with, you know, just a handful of people, and this channel has made that, you know, more than a handful, definitely, because there's a lot of you that I've met in this journey of mine, not just St. Louis City fans, but around the country and even around the world, that I would have no other reason to meet if it wasn't for this wonderful game of soccer. I decided to take advantage of what little notoriety I had from making the zombie chant and use my skills in journalism to do something on YouTube. I worked in news for 14 years, 13 of them in radio, 1 in TV, and I had to leave the industry in late 2022 for a variety of reasons I'm not going to get into here, but mostly they were all me and what was going on internally up here, and when it comes to the current state of the world and even the state of the world back in the COVID era. But it was hard for me to move away from that industry, and it's so funny though that like people, you know, come up to me and, you know, they've asked me like, if there's one thing you've accomplished in this world, like what is one thing that you can say you've contributed to this world, which is something that's very important to me. And during my time at KMOX in St. Louis, I won an Edward R. Murrow Award for my work on a COVID-era newscast. But you might not know that about me because I don't talk about that. It's nothing I brag about. I brag about Zombie, though. I brag about the Bürki chant, and that is what led me here to today. But even still, like you saw that early video, like it looked like someone that was still trying to figure out his way in this world of YouTube, and I still didn't know exactly what I wanted out of this channel in the early going. I did my first ever soccer vlog. It was St. Louis City versus Houston at home in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, just simply because I was going to cover St. Louis City that year, and I thought vlogging would be easier than doing, you know, like a sit-down, in-depth analysis recap type of a video, and away I went, because a month later, I'm bouncing around England, going to 5 soccer games in 5 days, including 1 in Ireland. And those games that I did really kind of set this channel in motion because they were well received by the English viewers that were over there. They're also well received by Americans over here as well. Kind of proved that I could do this, and I did it at a very big stage. I mean, I was at Man City, I was at the Etihad Stadium doing a vlog, I was at Anfield in Liverpool doing a vlog. In fact, on this date, Monday, April 6th, it is 1 day and 1 year to the date that I covered a very lower league type setting with Bohemian FC against Waterford FC in Dublin, Ireland. Bohemian play in this absolutely derelict, crumbling stadium with so much history called Dalymount Park. And of the 5 places I went to, yeah, it was quote unquote the worst stadium, but it was also arguably the most charming, and I met some of the most genuine people covering, the equivalent of probably Vanarama National League soccer in the country of Ireland. And it kind of set into motion what I would start doing not even a couple weeks later after I got back into America, when I went to Indy 11. And I was just going to cover a random game. Indianapolis, for those of you that aren't familiar with America, is about 3.5 hours east of St. Louis. Indy 11 is the closest USL club to St. Louis at any championship or League One level. And so I went over there just to cover a game. I ended up covering a story when the city's own mayor announced a Major League Soccer bid that did not include the Indy 11 in it. And the rest, as they say, is history. And now today I'm even a Brickyard Battalion member, because I got to be such good friends with members of the Brickyard Battalion. And Jason Wyrick, you're a homie. Thank you for making the jersey that I'm showing you on the screen right now, the nameplate for it. You find out who your friends are, not just in life, but in this game of soccer. And it's been a wonderful journey so far, and I look forward to continuing it more and more as the year goes on. And I'm going to be even going lower into the games that I cover, because I've covered USL Championship, I've covered USL League One, I've covered the USL Super League. But now I'm going to be covering non-league. I'm going to be covering Midwest Premier League games. I'll be covering some USL 2 games. I might even make it to a Liga Clubs game this year. That's kind of up in the air at this point. But and one reason I am covering these games is because you have told me that you appreciate the look into the lower leagues. I recently asked you before I recorded this video, how did we meet? And the other question was, what do you enjoy about my channel? And I've got your responses on here. I asked it on my Soccer Zombie Discord, which you can join by clicking the link up in the top right corner. I also asked it on the YouTube community page as well. And so a few of you met me on Twitter, back in the day when Soccer Zombie was on Twitter. I still am, but I just don't post as much anymore because of reasons that you might understand. Some of you discovered me on YouTube. Amy Murr, you discovered me on YouTube. You found the Nico Gioacchini sail to Como video. R. Apollos in Naples, you found me on YouTube. You were looking for MLS or USL videos. I think you came across the Louisville-Frankfurt video that I did. My most successful domestic video, by the way, Louisville-Frankfurt, has over 7,000 views, and thank you if you've watched that at least once. Super J&G, I believe if I'm not mistaken, J&G, you're from England originally, but then you live here in America. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But you found me through YouTube recommendations from other well-established creators like Zealand, like Stuntpeg, like Away Days. All 3 of these guys are inspirations. Well, excuse me, 2 guys and a gal. All 3 of them are inspirations for why I do what I do on my channel, because they all take you to places that you may not necessarily be able to go to, or maybe you want to go to someday and you want to see what it's like. The natural human curiosity attracts people to these type of vlogs, and that is why I like vlogging for you, is because I'm in a position in my life where I can go cover these games, I can go to these places and bring them back to you and tell you a story. Going back to my old journalism roots, I want people that watch my stuff to come away feeling like they've learned something, that they've been entertained, but also that they now know more about these clubs. Got a lot of good feedback recently on the Lexington video that I did against Indy 11. And I got a lot of good feedback on the Des Moines Menace versus Union Omaha video that I did. And there was something I did a little differently in those 2 videos. Number one, they're a bit longer, they're a little bit more in depth, but I talked to more fans in these videos. And that's something I'm working on this year, and I'm going to be trying to do a little differently. again, being an introvert, I find it sometimes very hard to approach people. It was Achilles' heel when I worked in journalism because I'm not the best at approaching people, and I'm also not a great interviewer. I will admit that right now. I am not the smoothest of interviews. I think it's something I'm getting better at, just through this channel. But that is something that I really want to work on, is face-to-face interviews in the moment. And I think the last couple of videos, the Lexington video and the Des Moines video, have gone well in that regard, but I'm still getting better. So thank you for your patience, as I'm still working on my craft here. But that's something that a lot of you said that you wanted to see more of. Kane, the one that goes to games, mentioned in the offseason that he really liked the fan perspective. Brad, Jeremy, Dave, Gage in Tulsa, GM jerseys, Scissortail shirts. You guys kind of mentioned that as well when I covered games in that level, talking to some of the fans and getting some of their perspective. So that is something that I am working on. J&G, you also mentioned that as well, because, games themselves get covered. Like the Omaha and Des Moines game got covered a lot of places by people that know more about the game than I do, by people that know more about the individual teams that I do, the individual players. So what can I contribute? I can contribute to what's the feeling like in amongst the fans of both clubs, both supporters, because it ended up being a great story of two supporters groups that get along really well. They live within 2 hours of each other. They play in different leagues, so there's really no reason for them to have a big bitter rivalry or anything like that. But instead, I found a lot of good friendship and community, which is something that really makes me enjoy the game of soccer and has helped me fall in love with the game of soccer as time goes on. I feel like James Earl Jones in Field of Dreams, when talking about soccer sometimes, and there's the level of community that exists in this game. And I feel that in a lot of ways, soccer is the modern day version of Field of Dreams when we talk about, things that make us warm and gooey inside, and, just the things that unite us and bring us together. Young kids these days, they're not as many baseball fans that are growing up anymore, but there's a lot of soccer fans that can tell you who Lionel Messi is. There's a Louisville fan, that I bumped into in the Frankfurt match that was screaming his head off for Mario Götze. A good player in the German Bundesliga. I wouldn't call him like a superstar or anything like that. He's not like a Lewandowski level of a star or a Musiala level of a star, but he's a good player. And this kid in Louisville was just going absolutely bonkers for this kid, for Mario Götze rather. And that really struck me. Where this game is going, and I'm just glad to be a part of that rise. Other people that were in my chat, you may have picked up on me for my St. Louis City coverage, which I'm continuing to do now. I started doing with the player transfer videos that I did for Timo Baumgartel, Jonas Horn, Jake Girdwood Reich. Those videos got a lot of positive response. And a lot of you guys, just watch my channel for St. Louis City content, which is perfectly fine because that's what I am. I'm right here. This is my happy place right here, and I like talking about things that happen in my happy place. But also, a lot of you that may have came on from the St. Louis City fandom have also mentioned that they like that my lower league content because it's showing them what they didn't know already existed. And that's key because I've said it before on this channel, I'll say it again. The St. Louligans themselves, they motivated me to do this journey of lower league content because they challenged me literally on Twitter when I mentioned I wish we had the lower league culture that exists in England. The St. Louligans came right out and said it exists. You just have to go find it. And I'm not alone in that. I am absolutely 100% not alone in that, and clearly I'm not alone in thinking that with the people that watch my channel, because I've heard a lot of that from you that have come out and say that. But like Absterwith on Discord, I think I said that name right, Absterwith Town. You mentioned that. Kane mentioned that as well. Hellbender, Billy Jansen, you mentioned that you like the travels type of vlogs that I do. Gage from Tulsa, you mentioned that as well. And one thing that's kind of weird to me as well is another thing that you all mentioned that you liked is me. You like my commentary style. And that's mind-blowing to me, because as someone that has a kind of a dubious relationship with himself, I find it very hard to rationalize sometimes that people enjoy my stuff and people enjoy my content, or just enjoy having me around. It comes from a place of poor self-confidence and poor self-esteem that I've had all my life. And it's nothing sinister, nothing. I don't have like a dark backstory or anything like Bruce Wayne. Like my parents didn't get murdered in a back alley, and I have visions of pearls, falling down in the alleyway from the killer. No, it's nothing like that. It's just the way I'm wired. It's just the way I'm wired. That's really it. So it's like Erling Haaland's evil twin brother visited me when I was young and told me to stay humble, and I listened. I still stay humble to this day. I like Erling Haaland. I actually like him as a player. I don't think he deserves the flack that he gets, although he does earn it sometimes. But I like Erling Haaland. I like watching him play, but that's just me. But anyway, that not about Erling Haaland, about me. And when I say I'm truly appreciative of your support, I really mean that. I really mean that as someone that didn't expect to be making this video at this point of my journey here. I was just going to make videos just for fun, just to be a little social, because I was working overnights and I didn't really have anyone to talk to. My life changed, thankfully, to where now I can focus more on making better content for you, and I'm going to continue making St. Louis City content for you. I'm going to continue to do vlogs for you. I'm going to dip a little deeper into the lower leagues and bring those to you. I'm looking forward to working with the Midwest Premier League on my This Is Non-League Soccer in America series coming up. I'm going to be bringing you at least one game a week from the Midwest Premier League. Again, they have a division that is based in St. Louis, 5 clubs in the St. Louis area, and then you have one in Columbia, Missouri. And even that club's going to be very interesting to cover as well, because they have a pretty good supporter base there, and they've been around for a couple of years, and their owner's like one of the more notable officials within the Midwest Premier League. So I really look forward to working with Zach and Columbia, and I look forward to working with the other teams in St. Louis to try to bring you more coverage. I am also going to do Peoria City as well. I'm going to cover a couple of their games, I think. I went to Peoria City last year for their match against St. Charles FC. I didn't vlog that game, and I kind of regret it, because it would have made a fun little vlog, because the 309 have a really good supporter base there. Shout out Drew Clark, Part-Time Picks on Twitter and Instagram. Also a St. Louis City fan as well. Sirens are loud. Okay, shout out Drew Clark on Twitter and Instagram. Might be hanging out with you, Drew, in the Pacific Northwest. I might have some details on that coming up in the coming weeks. We just got to do some coordinating. We couldn't really meet up in KC, but we'll talk. We'll talk about that. But anyway, there's always a story to be told in soccer, and I look forward to bringing you more stories on this channel. If you enjoy my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, if you want to be a part of the 2,000 plus that are on this channel, just click that subscribe button. It really helps this channel out. Drop a like on this video if you appreciate what I do. If you don't like me, click X. Why are you even watching right now? And drop a comment and let me know let me know your thoughts on this channel, what I can do better for you, what you enjoy, and maybe where you want me to hit up someday, because there's definitely a lot of soccer to be explored still. And of course, the Zombie Ultras, I got to thank you guys as well, because you guys have become really the backbone of this channel. You help me get to these games that I go to. Every little bit helps. I mean, this is a $4.99 a month tier that 13 of you have decided to sign up for, and that means everything to me. It's not a big number, but if I had one sign up, I would be very happy with that. And then of course my 99-cent supporter section, you guys are the OGs when I started monetizing this channel, and I really thank every one of you for your support. And of course I want to shout out Pat Connolly Tavern as well. You saw their little logo in the top right corner. They are a sponsor of this channel for all of my St. Louis City content. They are literally I can almost see their tavern from my apartment in Dogtown. That is how close they are to me. They've been a part of my life for a long time. They've been a part of Dogtown since 1942, and they stepped up and are now contributing to this channel, and it means everything to me. Thank you, Pat Connolly Tavern. Thank you, David, the new owner of the Pat Connolly Tavern, and hopefully I'm steering some business your way. And if you haven't been to Pat Connolly Tavern, please check them out and tell them Tom Franklin, the Soccer Zombie, sent you. This is your Soccer Zombie, Tom Franklin here, and I'm going to put up a couple random videos. One's going to be to the right of me over here, the other one's going to be to my left over here. I don't know what they are. They're probably good videos. They're videos that I felt good enough posting on this channel. So hopefully you enjoy them, and hopefully you enjoy more videos to come. And for all 2,000 plus of you, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, dearly.